There's no single greatest shot in NBA history, mainly because there's so many different kinds that they're not exactly easy to compare to each other. By shot, we mean basket shots, not signature shots. There are plenty of those. Since it's common knowledge that a big shot in the NBA playoffs carries more weight than one in the regular season, we've listed down the best of the former for you. At number 11, we have when Trevor Booker does the impossible. On the 9th of January 2015, Trevor Booker of the Utah Jazz achieved the impossible by playing hot potato with the ball, or so it seemed. Instead of using a tip-in method to catch and shoot the ball in the mere 0.3 seconds left in the game, Booker decided to set himself up on the right block with the inbounds coming in from the same side. Then he received a bounce pass and shot a two-handed volleyball bump that sent the ball over his head into the basket with his back towards the basket the entire time. Though the shot scored 2 points in a midseason game, it was something that a vast majority of die-hard basketball fans had never seen before. Up next, Kawhi Leonard's quadruple doink. On the 12th of May 2019, in a game between the Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers, Kawhi Leonard of the Raptors did something that had never been done before. There had never been a buzzer beater that won the game in the 132 NBA Game 7s. That is, until the Raptors had a sideline inbounds play and Leonard, with 4 seconds left, received the ball, dribbled 4 times while circling around the arc to his right, and then found a spot within the three-point line. Joel Embiid of the Sixers contested the shot, a 7-foot man, mind you, so naturally, Leonard aimed his shot with a bit of an extra arch. Leonard crouched, waiting for the shot to drop while it first hit the front rim twice and then the back rim twice. When it finally dropped, the player just exploded with joy, sending the Sixers home. Now we have Kyrie Irving's three-pointer, Cleveland's 52-year late victory. June the 19th, 2016 was the ever-iconic date when Kyrie Irving's miraculous three-pointer ended the Cleveland Cavaliers' 52-year victory drought. Though LeBron James, of the Golden State Warriors of course, famous block technique kept the score frustratingly tied between the Cavaliers and the Warriors, Irving finally seized the opportunity when, after a Cavaliers timeout, he shot a perfect three-pointer over Steph Curry, who he had on isolation on the wing of the perimeter. Luckily, LeBron James was standing in the corner on the same side of the court. This shot was so one-of-a-kind that it's still the only shot that Irving has made in the last minute of a playoff that's actually taken a lead. Sitting at number 8, Iverson makes history by stepping over Lou. The 6th of June, 2001, Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers made history by, get this, stepping over Tyronn Lue of the LA Lakers. Many people think the picture of Iverson stepping over Lue is from his documentary, The Answer. In reality, however, Lue stuck with Iverson after a crossover, further on challenging the shot. He fell down only when landing after his basket went in, and that's when Iverson stepped over him right in front of the Lakers bench. Talk about embarrassing. Though Iverson's iconic shot and 48 points ended the Lakers' postseason win streak of 12 games, the Sixers didn't win a single other game in the series, while the Lakers repeated as champions in 5 games. Next, Sampson's astonishing acrobatics. People truly believed Ralph Sampson of the Houston Rockets had the same potential as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and on the 21st of May 1986, he just about proved them right, making a shot so ridiculous it sent the Los Angeles Lakers home from the playoffs in 1986. The Rockets were inbounding the ball with 1 second left and the score tied. Breaking down the time by tenths of a second was not a practice back then, and so when the ball was thrown to Sampson, he caught it midair with his back towards the basket and, get this, twisted his torso enough to launch a shot while still in the air. What happened next? It hit the rim 3 times and went right in. And then we have Michael Jordan's unforgettable shot. In the 4th quarter of a Game 5 between the Chicago Bulls and Cleveland Cavs, May 7, 1989, the lead changed 6 times in the last minute, and the last lead was Jordan's buzz-beater shot. After a timeout, the Bulls inbounded the ball, down by 1 point with a mere 3 seconds remaining. Jordan received the ball, dribbled twice to his left, and elevated just above the foul line. Craig Ello of the Cleveland Cavs stuck with him stubbornly though, and so he double pumped, hanging in the air for half a second extra. Ello couldn't match his hang time, can't really blame him, and Jordan succeeded in hitting the shot, leaping in triumph right after. At number 5, we have the last magical spell. Magic Johnson of the LA Lakers retired in November 1991, leaving NBA supporters across the world in shock as he had contracted HIV and could not continue. His unwavering support from his fans remained, however, and he was chosen for the All-Star game 3 months later. Touched, he unretired for the occasion. Upon his return, it seemed like he had never retired in the first place. He blended in so well with the rest, he looked like a mid-season player rather than one who had retired months ago. With only 14 seconds left in the game, Johnson hit a three-pointer, putting the West up by 40 points. This infamous moment resulted in the rest of the All-Stars flooding into the court to celebrate Magic's comeback. The game ended right there, and then with 14 seconds left, while Johnson finished with 9 assists and 25 points, taking home the MVP title. Well deserved, we must say. Next, Dr. J, or Astronaut J. Julius Erving, Dr. J, more famously, is one of the game's foremost dunkers and quite literally made it mainstream. One particular move of his, however, was his greatest shot, owing to how it seemed like gravity had no effect on him at that moment. On the 11th of May, 1980, in the NBA Finals, Erving moved to the hoop from the right but was blocked by Mark Landsberger, a forward on the LA Lakers. Seemingly unfazed, Erving pretty much scooped the ball while hanging in the air and just about floated towards the other side of the basket. Another magic trick, it seems. Then he palmed the ball with his gigantic hands and flipped up a finger roll from under the basket, and the ball bounced gently off the glass and straight into the hoop. Both the live audience and every single person watching the game exploded with jubilance at witnessing history as such. At number 3, Here Comes Willis. Here Comes Willis is one of the most memorable calls in sports history, said by Marv Albert as he announced that Willis Reed was making his way onto the court. Reed had suffered with a torn muscle in Game 5 of the NBA Finals that prevented him from playing in Game 6, despite the fact that he'd won MVP that season. Though he was not supposed to play in Game 7 either, the New York Knicks were going for the NBA championship for the first time, and of course, he wasn't going to miss out. Reed did not score more than 4 points in that game. He scored the first 2 points with a foul line jumper, then hit his next shot and nothing else. But his presence in the game was enough of an emotional boost to put the Knicks over the Lakers for the title. Next, Ray Allen's clutch 3. On the 18th of June 2013, the San Antonio Spurs were anticipated to close the game with so much certainty that the court was encircled with ushers and yellow ropes in the last minutes of the game. However, Ray Allen of the Miami Heat clearly disagreed. When Chris Bosh of the San Antonio Spurs shot an offensive rebound, Allen backpedaled to the three-point line without even looking at his feet. Can you imagine? The shot reignited whatever dwindling hopes Miami had. A little bonus, there's footage of Allen shouting, "Get these mother ropes out of here," as Miami won, leading to a Game 7. And at number 1, we have the last shot. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, the 14th of June 1998. The game was tied, tensions were high, and 41 seconds were left when John Stockton knocked down a three-pointer. The Chicago Bulls instantly called a timeout, and Michael Jordan scored 4 seconds later, then stripped Karl Malone on the other end of the court. His famous last words, "I let the time tick to where I had the court right where I wanted it," mused Jordan, which means he apparently had the final shot planned in his mind way before it happened. He dribbled to the foul line, nudged Brian Russell, knocked down the shot, and left up the gooseneck follow-through. One of the most iconic photos in sports history. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think these are the best shots in NBA history? Or are there other personal favorites you have? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.